To MJ Hobby Corner. I am Martin, and this next to me is Julie.
Hello again, everyone.
Julie's my incredible sidekick. She's been with this channel from its early beginnings. She was my main opponent. Always kicked my butt in every single war game we played.
And now he's got to play solo so they can always win.
So there's Julie. Now, Julie, how you been?
Not great, honestly, but getting better, hopefully. And I am really happy to be back. Even, like I said, even in just a small way. I'm glad to do this. It's been too long.
Yep, we've had some incredible health journeys since last year, and Julie was out of the picture for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You were out for a long time. So for those of you that don't know, that may be new to the channel, you can check out our older videos in the big studio. Julie was always there.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to have you back.
I am glad to be back.
And
one thing I would like to address, I'm sure all of you have noticed that I am wearing a mask, which I'm sure looks ridiculous, but it's a necessary evil right now, so we're just going to go with it.
We're going to go with it.
That's right.
That's it. All right, so for those of you that don't know, we used to do Hobby Talks, which was like our official little video for the channel. It would be like news and updates for the channel, and updates on games that Julie and I were going to play, and scratch building updates. So it was like our little talk session where we could geek out with you guys a little bit.
Absolutely.
And we used to do these once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing that now.
I know. Yeah. Times change, though. Things change. But we decided, let's do a hobby talk.
Let's do it. That was my idea.
It was her idea.
Because I wanted to come back more. I wanted to do something else, so.
Now, speaking of coming back, you are playing on our Patreon. We're playing 4 Against Darkness. And you are playing co-op. We're playing that co-op.
Right.
So far, we've only played one game, unfortunately, because Julie has been like, yeah, she's had her issues, but...
Yeah, I have issues, all right. I'm really loving that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you guys get a chance to check it out, I would.
Yeah, let's talk just a little bit about 4 Against Darkness. So, you have this party. 4 Against Darkness, for those of you that don't know, is a game by Andreas Filiugi. It is a classic dungeon crawl game. It's a bit board gamey. It's not exactly designed as an RPG. However, you can play it as an RPG, and you play it solo. It is a solo game. You can play it co-op as well. So as you're going through your dungeon, you're drawing all the rooms and rolling the contents and the monsters and...
Right. Yeah, it's really fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Now, we have 4 characters, and, well, of course, 4 Against Darkness, right? We chose a warrior. We chose a dwarf. We have a gnome, which came from another book, one of the expansions. And the gnome is very cool because he can throw grenades. He can make things, the gadgets.
Yeah, oh, that was cool. That helped a lot.
Yeah, it helps a lot, really.
Yeah.
And then as you go through the dungeon, at the very end, there's going to be a dungeon boss. Usually it's after 10 rooms, right? And then we have an elf character, Galliana.
Galliana, yeah. She's mine.
Tell us a little bit about Galliana. How do you envision Galliana and stuff? Is she a snooty elf?
No, not at all.
No. Okay.
She's quiet.
Okay, yeah.
A little bit shy. But her personality completely changes when she's going in for battle, though.
Oh, okay.
When she's ready for battle, the shyness, that's gone.
Right.
And the quietness, still maybe a little quiet, but a lot stronger.
Right.
and ready.
And one of the cool thing is that the elves in Four Against Darkness are like the old school D&D where they do magic,
Hmm.
you know.
That's what
So-
I really love about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I think it's cool. It brings that sort of supernatural element to
Yes.
them, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a great little game, and if you want to see the actual games, they'll be in my Patreon. I'm deciding about possibly making, as we play more,
Mhm.
making little snapshots of the game, my little snapshot videos. They're like 15 minutes, 16 minutes long, maybe a little longer, and bringing them to the channel so
That's
people.
a great idea.
Yeah, so
I
you
love
you
it.
can follow the story as we go along.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm keeping a little journal of the game too, so we can follow the story.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
We met
definitely.
some cool monsters.
Oh, for sure. Which were your favorite?
My favorite monster was the vampire frog.
Oh, that was pretty cool. I mean, everybody needs a vampire frog.
Yeah, and then I found this picture of a frog like this, and I put vampire teeth on him, and
Uh-huh.
so he's like
That's
sticking.
great.
Yeah, so it
That's
was
awesome.
it's pretty cool. Yeah, so Four Against Darkness, that's a cool game. Now, speaking of RPGs, we are doing. I am beginning my RPG journey again, solo RPGs. I'm playing on my Patreon.
Mhm.
And now that we have an actual RPG tier on the Patreon,
Mhm.
and I started EZD6 again with an adventure that I'm calling We Be Goblins.
Oh yeah.
And basically all my characters are goblins.
I love that. I
And-
love the title.
Yeah, We Be Goblins.
We be goblins.
And it's cool because they're not really evil, but they're raiders. I mean, they raid human towns, and they steal chickens.
I love it.
Yeah. So lock up your chickens because the goblins are out.
Oh, it's great.
And there's a particular female character, Nirza.
Nirza, yeah.
Nirza, you've heard about this.
Yeah, well, I have. You've shown me.
And so I found this really cool laugh for her.
Oh, yeah.
And then she goes out and she's the one that's obsessed with stealing chickens and eggs and things. She doesn't eat them. She has other weird habits.
That is the funniest thing. Dance for me, chicken.
Dance for me.
Make the chicken dance.
Yes, so yeah, it's a wacky story, but it's a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And we've only done the first episode. And so hopefully right after the war game that I'm doing for my war game patrons, we're going to continue with EZD6. We're going to continue with We Be Goblins.
I think that should be on merch.
Yeah, have a shirt, We Be
We Be
Goblins.
Goblins.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love playing like characters like that, weird monster characters, you know, and one interesting thing about that game is that I'm using the tools, Une.
Right.
I don't know if you've heard me speak about them.
I've heard you speak about them, but I don't know what they are.
Une is a very interesting tool. It's an NPC emulator.
Okay.
You can use it in your multiplayer games, but for solo RPG, it is great. For the soloist, it's a great tool. And so what you do is you roll on these descriptive oracles. They give you phrases,
Right.
and you interpret that.
Right.
And you can do like moods for the NPC. You can actually start a conversation with your NPCs when you're playing solo.
That's cool.
Because you're interpreting things,
Right.
right? The words as you go, as you roll these words and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I used Une to figure out things about our main goblin's past. And I think you heard me talk about it.
Yeah. I've watched some of it.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, you did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I just wanted to say it's a fun game to play. Wouldn't know that, but you know that. It's also a really fun game to watch.
yeah.
So just to let you guys know, it really is. It's a fun game to watch.
I get really silly with it, but the combat is serious. You know, at least
Of course.
we have as we go along, things will probably get a little darker. I think.
Oh.
You know, but it's gonna have that mischief and fun all the way through because
Mhm.
we be goblins. You know, it's not gonna be like, you know, you play as you want. So I mean, it's been fun.
Really has. I usually pick elves, so it's
Yeah.
probably the case.
Julie's an elf,
I
but
am.
you wanted to roll a dwarf.
Yeah, that's another one I'd like to do.
Yeah, so
I think it would be fun to play a dwarf.
and I think one of our patrons, Beef Supreme, would be very surprised if she played a dwarf.
Yeah, I think that he would be too.
They're always teasing about, you know, dwarves and elves and
yeah, and elves are better, you know.
elves are better. Oh boy. Okay, moving on then. All right, so and maybe we can do some, you know, 2-player RPGs or something in the future.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
All right, well, let's go to our next topic, which scratch builds.
Oh, okay.
I have a tank to show.
Yes.
So here is the cardboard clay hybrid. This is a prototype and a new way that I'm trying to build my figures, especially my vehicle figures. I will be exploring starships for Void Admiral. That's coming very soon because my patrons are now voting on a game, and I think Void Admiral is going to win this time. But so I'll have some new Void Admiral ships, and I'll show them here on the channel. So reason why I did this is that cardboard is very easy to work with. It is a very common item, and I decided that I would use the cardboard in this vehicle as an armature. And then for the details, instead of cutting a myriad and one cardboard pieces or using other things to try to represent the whole detail, I used clay. And I used a colored polymer baking clay. And what I do is I heat it with a hair dryer. I insert the clay in this little like tinfoil purse that I make. And then I blow with the air dryer into that tinfoil purse with the pieces inside. And they dry right up. Even this turret, that's rather chunky. So it is magnetized, very cheap magnets I use. So there is some detail missing. I'm going to add the mufflers here and some more detail here. And then I'm going to paint this thing. And when it's painted, you guys will see it. I will show it here on the channel. I'm probably going to do some airbrush work on this. And this is good for like 1/72 scale. I have some 1/72 scale World War II figures, and I like to play a lot of alternate history. So this will be good for that. Now I'm going to add some more detail here for the turret, and then this is done. You can see this in Scratch Builder Monthly. The April issue will have the complete tutorial, how I made it, and the March issue begins to talk about the tank itself and this kind of technique for the future. Now, while I have you guys here, let me just show you the 6mm Lizardmen that I began. Now, this is in Scratch Builder Monthly, and here we have some Snake Men archers. I figured out a way to cut the plastic canvas mesh so I can get these shapes, and these are very simple. Very simple stick figure shapes. Okay, so we go into our expectations into this thing, knowing that we're working with stick figures here. Okay, and these are some Lizardmen warriors. These are spearmen, and again, working with the basic humanoid shape that I make for my human armies. We have the human army right in this little bin here, and then just figured out a way to add a tail and a more reptilian like head, and there we go. Now these guys have shields. I kind of like the yellow shields, but I don't know, I may paint them in the future. So 2 units of Lizardmen warriors, 1 unit of Lizardmen archers, and I still have 2 more bases. I'm going to complete the cavalry and another unit. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Oh, a command unit. That's what I need, is the command unit. And here are the little like human figures. So humans versus Lizardmen. We'll have a game when I finish the army. And little by little, I add to these. Every month, I add different units, okay, until the army's complete. More mesh work. I will update more and more on that in the future. But if you want to see more in-depth videos, definitely my Patreon and definitely the magazine. Okay, the magazine is going to have all the tutorials. Thank you. What do you think of the tank?
I think it's amazing, as usual.
Do you like the clay idea?
I do, and I wanted to ask you did you just think of it, or did you see something?
No, I thought of it because one of the biggest issues in making tanks out of cardboard like that is the turret.
Uh-huh.
Because the turret has, rounder shapes.
Yes.
Now, if you're making a modern tank, it could be more squarish and, angular and stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, this is more like a World War II inspired vehicle, even though it's fictitious. So I needed a rounder turret. And I thought, clay. Why not work with clay now that I'm working with clay more?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sculpting more now. So that's how I came up with the idea.
I think it's a really good one, especially the magnet.
Oh, the magnets. Yeah. Yeah, it helps with the turrets, I think. Just to magnetize it and let it do its thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So, will that become a new set of vehicles in the future? Maybe. I am thinking of doing aircraft more, like gunships and things like that. Maybe go into walkers and use this same technique. We'll see. This year I'm doing more work with mesh. So, speaking of mesh, I started my lizardmen.
Awesome.
Little tiny lizardmen.
Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine.
They're tiny.
Because they're little, I know.
Yeah, they're tiny. Those of you interested in my mesh work, lizardmen are coming out. I will have an update here on the channel on that very soon. If you're interested, check out Scratch Builder Monthly for March. I have articles there on my new sculptures. I also have articles for the lizardmen.
Terrific.
And I discuss a lot of the things that'll go on in 2025 as well. So, yeah, Scratch Builder Monthly, you can get it in my shop for Patreon, my public shop on Patreon, and you can get it at War Games Vault. And whichever of the two you guys choose.
Yeah, let's talk war game.
Let's talk some war games. Okay, what would you like?
I want to get back to basics at some point. And Oathmark comes to mind when I think of that.
Oh, yeah, we played a lot of Oathmark in the past.
Yeah, we played it every single week, every Thursday, remember?
Yeah, that we have a lot of those. Some of those videos went to Patreon, but you can still see a lot of in the playlist for games, for Oathmark games. You can see a lot of our old Oathmark games. There's a game I want you to learn, which is Fantastic Battles.
Okay,
which is very much like Oathmark. It's a rank and file game, and I play it with my little magnetized trays.
Okay.
And it's an easy game to learn, and it's a cool game to learn.
All right, well that'd be fun.
And we have Stargrave. Remember Stargrave?
Yeah, we played that all the time too.
Stargrave.
God, I miss those games.
Yeah. Frostgrave.
Yeah. Vanguard.
Vanguard. Yeah, you really liked Vanguard.
I did.
I remember.
The Exploding Eights are awesome.
Yeah. Kings of War and Vanguard. That was another big game that we used to like.
Dragon Rampant.
Dragon Rampant's coming out with a new edition.
Is it? That's cool.
It's a new release. Yeah, they're redoing the game a little bit. So we will see as soon as I hear about that. That I'll definitely grab because I do like Dragon Rampant. And
yeah,
we'll have to play a couple of games.
Absolutely.
You've never played Xenos Rampant?
No, I haven't.
It's one of the games, yeah.
No, we talked about playing it.
Yeah, we talked about it, but I think you got sick shortly after.
Well,
so
that ended a lot of things for a while.
Yeah, I know. There was a whole campaign we were going to start.
I know.
But, in due time. Definitely. So there's Dragon Rampant.
And hopefully, in coming weeks and months, you'll be seeing a little bit more of me playing.
Yeah, more Julie playing games. That'd be great. We could play some 2-player games again. Void Admiral, I just picked up a bunch of stuff with Void Admiral. One of my patrons, we were chatting a little bit, and he alerted me that there's some new like factions. And I went at War Games Vault, and yeah, absolutely, there's a bunch of different supplements for the game. And I just got a bunch of stuff. So
yeah,
we're gonna do some Void Admiral space combat. That sounds really
that
cool.
sounds like fun. We haven't done space for a while.
Yeah, you used to do mostly Warfleets FTL with me.
Yes.
Yeah, Warfleets FTL.
Yep.
That's a good game.
I love that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Void Admiral is very, very cool. You should learn it with me.
I will.
And it's very cool. It's different. And I like the factions. It's not a difficult mechanic. And I have tons of handmade starships to play with. So we can move them about.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Maybe we be goblins.
We be goblins. We be goblins. Yeah,
We be
that's
goblins.
it. It's a fun RPG. It's definitely a fun adventure. So,
So, I think that's good.
okay. So, hopefully more of Julie. We can play more games together, and you guys will see 2-player examples. We'll have solo examples. Most of my games are being played on Patreon, but like I said, I will have example Battlefield snapshots and things like that that are coming to the channel that'll at least give people an idea of what's going on.
I'm really glad you're doing that.
Yeah.
So that the channel gets to see some of it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The channel will definitely get to see some of those things as well. And my patrons are voting. They're more involved in voting and things like that with the different games. So.
And thank you to our patrons for all your support, and also to all of you for your support.
And
whether
thank you
it
to
be
everyone
a watch
here.
or
Yep.
a like or a share. It all helps.
Thank you very much to all of our YouTube subs. Welcome to all the new subs, and thank you very much for all your support here, and for all of you on our YouTube channel that support the magazine Scratch Builder Monthly. Thank you very much. It really helps the studio a lot. Next week, by the way, I will be filming in the big studio because I have a major renovation.
Oh.
There's things I have to fix in the big studio, and then I'm going to rearrange everything.
Like every year.
Yeah. Except this year, the collection, I'm going to be putting it in special foam. I'm getting foam trays and plastic organizers, so the miniatures won't be exposed anymore.
That's good.
All of these organizers are going to be labeled so that the collection's now going to be protected. So they won't be like out on the shelves anymore. Because I do have kitties that go in there.
Yeah, and not just ours.
You're right.
The strays go in too.
Yeah, they found a way to go into the studio because I have to fix one of the doors. So, and I don't mind because it's cold and I love animals, but I need those miniatures have to be protected. And
Right.
I think one of these kitties wants to be a war gamer because he goes straight for the minis, and I guess they
Straight
must.
for 'em, huh?
Yeah, they must play around or something.
One would only wonder. I wish we could put a little camera in there or something.
Yeah, right. To see these
We
kittens.
could do that.
Yeah, they're probably like future war gamers, but I don't know. But I have found miniatures whose arms have fallen off,
Right.
and it's like no, we can't have that.
It's too bad though, because they looked really nice on the shelves.
They look nice display, but the other thing is that there is like dust. Because
and
it is.
That's something that can really damage. You wouldn't think so, but dust can be
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could definitely, especially miniatures that I've painted over the years.
Right.
I don't want that damaged.
Yeah.
So, and that's my 28mm collection primarily. It's a large collection. So it's all going to be organized starting next week if we get warmer weather, like they're saying.
Except for a storm is coming, right?
There is a rainstorm or something
Oh, I
coming.
thought it was a snowstorm.
Oh, that's right. We may be getting snow out of that one. Oh, well. But that's March for you. But
Yeah.
I am starting in there as soon as possible. and we're going to be rearranging. The whole terrain wall is going to be redone this year. I couldn't do
Wow.
that last year. And it's a lot of terrain, and we're going to be recycling some of that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
maybe culling some terrain, but definitely going to be redoing that whole wall. It's going to be reshelved and everything. So then get ready for April opening of the big studio.
Yes, that's always so much fun.
I know.
I can't believe it's here already.
It's almost here. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's been a harsh winter, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, I think that's enough. We've blabbered enough.
Yeah. We've taken up enough of your time.
Yeah. Thanks to Julie for showing up. She's feeling better today, so
Mm-hmm. Little by little.
little by little. It's a long health journey for the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have my own things to deal with,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
but little by little.
Take care.
And there's Simon, who also
Yeah.
has to join
Yes.
the camera. Might as well. Here, Simon.
Woo! Simon. Look at Simon. Nope.
Admiral Simon. All right, folks. Have a great one. I'll see you in the next video, guys.
Take
Take care. And thank you for all your support. Thanks to all our patrons as well. Have a great one.